Sekiro for you all, so whenever you're ready, take it away.
Yo, thank you. Yeah. So hello everyone. My name is LeCadd. Today I'm gonna run Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, all bosses. It's almost like 50 fights in the game in less than 2 hours if everything goes correctly. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty pog actually. I'm not alone on this because like I will have a fantastic co-commentator for this, Murtog. If you want to introduce yourself, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, I'm Metag. I've done Sure and OSM and also played a bunch of Randomizer, and I'll be co-commentating this run with the excellent LeCadd.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, really happy to have you on this. Like, it's always a
Oh, no
pleasure having
worries.
you. Okay, we're gonna explain like the run as we go. So okay, so the timer starts as soon as I click on New Game right there. So yeah, be ready. 3, 2, 1, go. And now, yeah, no turning back. Like, don't have the choice. We have to finish the run. Let's go. All right. Okay, so the beginning is pretty straightforward actually. This is a tutorial basically. So I can't sprint for the moment, so this is why I'm jumping around. Basically, this is the part when the game like introduces you to the stealth mechanic of the game, but we don't have the time because this is a speedrun, so we're just gonna skip it and try to avoid getting hit by the snipers. So this is why I'm jumping around, by the way. It's slightly faster than just walking. Okay, so this one control. No, that's okay. Alright.
Yeah, in a PB attempt, you would just beeline it straight to the end. You probably wouldn't get hit, but it's an annoying time loss in a marathon.
Yeah, it can happen. And if I get shot, it's one shot, obviously, because like the thing on the... like the little thing you see like on the left corner, it's my health bar, so yeah. So yeah, this is one shot, basically. Alright. So now I have my sword, so now I can sprint, and I'm actually gonna do like the first mid-boss of the game, right at the beginning. It's right here. It should be okay, but... Alright. Okay. So basically the thing on this boss, it's not really complicated, but there's a lot of enemies surrounding him, so I can get trolled and get hit by an enemy. You know, these guys in the back, and that's okay.
Yeah, usually they just stay back, but
sometimes,
maybe
like,
you
one of them, like, can just decide, okay, I'm just gonna rush on him, and, yeah, and you'll die. So, but it didn't happen, so yeah, Pog. I was kind of scared, actually, to to see that, but no, that's alright. Okay. Now we're gonna go for a pretty intense fight. Probably the most intense fight in the entire run. So yeah, be ready, guys, okay? It's pretty intense, pretty complicated. So yeah, here is Genichiro. So we're just gonna rush on him and die. And you're probably thinking like, wait, why is he dying on this boss?
No.
Oh no, yeah, reset, right? You died. Like, you have to do all bosses, so yeah, the run is over. Now the thing is, like, you can actually beat Genichiro right here, but it's pointless because like you will lose your arm anyway. Like, it doesn't change anything.
Yeah, you get a slightly different cutscene. Yeah, now's probably a good time to talk about like what this category is. So it's all bosses and mini bosses. So every single full boss, the ones that give you memories, we're going to kill them. We're going to kill every mini boss, which is basically enemies with multiple HP bars, plus some extra stuff, which are obviously also mini bosses like the balls, headless, etc. So yeah, we're just going to go around killing everything. It's going to be great.
So now yeah, we're gonna do like a few mid bosses right at the beginning. So yeah, the beginning of this run is pretty it's pretty nerve wracking actually because it goes really fast. Like, there's a lot of things going on right at the beginning. All right. But this is pretty much like okay. Like the first mid bosses are not that complicated. It will be a little bit later. But yeah, some mid bosses will like just annihilate you. But for the moment, that's pretty much okay. Alright.
Yeah, just to explain some of the mechanics for people that might not be super familiar with Sekiro, our main goal is to deal death blows, which basically removes HP bars from bosses. They become vulnerable to doing a death blow if either we drain all of their health, which is in the top left, or more commonly, we just fill up their posture gauge, which is in the top middle. We do that by hitting them, obviously, but also by deflecting their attacks. Anytime you see the orange sparks coming off LeCadd's sword, that's because he's timed a deflect, which is it's like a parry basically. It's a little bit more forgiving than a Dark Souls parry, but it allows us to basically deal posture. So that's one of the main ways that we actually kill bosses, by deflecting their attacks. This boss though is a little bit different, mostly trying to avoid the attacks and do the vitality damage, which still does posture damage at the top, and when it's full we can deal a death blow. And you can see the death blow HP bars at the top left. Like usually they'll have 2 for mini bosses.
And by the way, I did use a Gatchin sugar on this boss. Basically, the Gatchin sugar like increase your stealth, and so this is like it allows me to like get behind the mid boss and remove one of his HP bar instantly, because this boss has 2 HP bars. So yeah.
Yeah, it's. I should say there's actually another way to deal the death blow right away, which is via stealth. So if you sneak up on a mini boss, you'll do a death blow right away, and that'll remove usually one of its 2 HP bars right away, which is obviously really fast because it basically halves the boss fight duration. So we're going to do that a lot, and Gatchins to stealth is going to be a way we do it with some of them, like Ogre there.
Yeah, pretty much actually. Like there's a few when you're gonna use that.
Yeah.
That mechanic is pretty cool actually. Alright.
Yeah, often we'll do like crazy leaps from buildings to do them from the air.
Yeah.
Which is a great way to get to the boss without them spotting you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so this is the snake. He's not really a problem because its attacks are not RNG, so we just do the same thing every time and we never get hit.
And now I'm gonna go like for the actual first like main boss of the game, which is Gyobu. Yeah. I'll let you explain, Murtaugh, yeah.
Yeah, and also this is the first time that we're seeing the unrestricted versus glitchless definition. So we're playing unrestricted here, so we're allowed to use any glitches, skips, tricks, outbounds, whatever. And so this is not allowed in glitchless, because glitchless means that you have to kill every boss with death blows. Here we're going to make Gyobu fall off a cliff. The way we do that is we need to get outside of the arena. So we're going to do 2 unintended jumps, that was one of them. And then we're going to do a delayed jump, which is where we kind of run off a ledge in a particular way, and then he jumps further than he should, allows him to get out of the arena on here. Not being in the arena gets rid of the invisible walls, which allows Gyobu to fall off the edge if we just bait him off, and there he goes. Nice. That was really clean. I know you were a bit worried about that trick. It's a lot harder than it looks. So first try, that's really nice.
Because like there's some instance of delay jump in the run, and this one I really found complicated actually. Like I know a lot of people running this game will say no, this is one of the easiest and all. I found this one really complicated, like to be consistent on, to be honest. But
it's got loads of nuance to it that you won't see. Like if you run directly at the corner, it doesn't work. Like you need to run to the right of the corner. It's kind of weirdly finicky, that's for sure. I should probably say I am watching at about 3 or 4 seconds delay. So if my reactions are all really delayed, that's why. Not because my brain is really slow, or that partly as well, but mainly the stream delay. So this is a pretty scary mini boss actually. You basically just want to not make any mistakes. If you make a mistake, it goes bad really quickly. Use the Akko for extra damage. Want to get that first deflect. By deflecting the charge, it means the bull stops charging. And then he's going to hit the head. We do way more damage by hitting the head, so we're just going to stay right in front of it. And yeah, that was pretty much a textbook fight.
Yeah, I just missed like a couple hits, but yeah, it's not that bad. Like,
yeah, it was not like gold split like fast, but like as fast as you'd reasonably hope it to go.
Yeah, right. As long as I don't take too much damage on him, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that boss is horrible because you take damage even when you
When you deflect.
deflect.
Yeah, that's horrible.
So all the no-hit runners absolutely hate that fight. They can't even deflect it without taking damage.
Alright.
So we're quickly going to pick up the spear here, which will be used for 2 times in the run. One boss, one boss, I think.
Mm,
Or is there more uses? I can't remember. It's used a few times.
yeah, 3 times maximum, I think.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. Like for the few bosses we're gonna use it, like it's really worth it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's really funny how like the key is right there.
Okay, I'm just gonna do the fight casually. I'm not gonna.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Lone Shadow. It's actually a really optimized mini boss because it's in any percent. And there's a few really fast ways to fight the boss that involve dead angling. So there's a thing that's in most From Software games, including Sekiro, where you by the way, basically flawless fight, nice.
Yeah.
Where if you're not looking at an enemy, then they won't block your attacks for whatever reason, and so we can take advantage of that to basically stun lock a few bosses, and you can do it to Lone Shadow, but doing it optimally is actually very difficult. Much harder than just fighting head on.
By the way, the camera on this fight is horrible. Just to know, like yeah, just know that. Like, because this is like a really small arena, and like the camera just panics so much when you're close to a wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good fight actually. Like, it was slow because I did it casually instead of like speedrun strats, but like, yeah, I missed the dead ending at the very beginning, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do it casually. Should be alright. Okay. Now, the scary part actually, like the next mid boss right there is gonna be a scary part. So basically, yeah, this is another instance of like dead angling, you will see. Alright, so but first we're gonna sneak up and remove one of our HP bar, and that's it. Alright.
Yep, and this strategy is really a lot harder than it looks. If he faces too far away, then his attacks will miss and it'll break the stun lock and the fight will go out of control really fast. But if he faces too much to the left, which is what's happened a few times there, then
just miss, yeah.
Oh yeah, and then she'll block. Or what happened there can happen where she wasn't right in the right position, so her attacks actually pushed her out of the corner. So there's like so many ways it can go wrong. It takes a lot of practice to be very consistent at.
Yeah.
But good backup, just fighting her normally.
And by the way, when you see like the red kanji, basically like it means that it's like a undeflecting attack, but you can actually deflect her grab because she has like kind of a not a sword, like a blade on her rifle, so you can actually deflect. And basically, if I got grabbed, this is a one shot, like no matter what.
Yeah, and it's actually quite difficult to time the deflect because it's like so delayed. But yeah, like basically nobody casually knew that you could deflect that.
Yeah.
But you can.
Well, I actually learned like you can deflect when I did learn the speedrun actually, like because I was playing the game casually, and then when I saw that, I was like, really? Wow. Okay. Yeah. This game has a lot of surprise when it comes to speedrun. Like you learn a lot of things on this game when you start the speedrun of it. Alright.
So we're doing a bit of mandatory story here. So we have to speak to Tengu and finish this quest in order for him to move up to the next place when we speak to him later on. You can either accept the quest, which is to go kill a rat, or you can just say no, in which case the quest just finishes straight away. So that's just what we do. And then also going to buy firecrackers here, because that's one of the few prosthetics that we're actually going to use. Firecrackers are ridiculously good. We're going to use them for actually a trick, but also just generally firecrackers are really good. If you're struggling with this game casually, try firecrackering the boss. It's probably going to help. That's my pro
Oh
tip.
yeah, this is the most OP prosthetics in the game, like by far. Firecrackers is OP by far, yeah.
Yeah, the description tells you that it's particularly good against animals, which it is, and we are going to see it used against some animal bosses, but it's just really good against basically everything. It stuns almost all bosses, temporarily at least. So we're just equipping the prosthetics. So now we've got our 3 prosthetics for the run. The shuriken, which gives us a ranged attack, and the firecrackers that stun, and the spear, which you'll see what it does.
So this is the only 3 prosthetics we're gonna use in the game. I don't remember how much there is in the game, because I know like there's the axe, there's the whistle.
It's like 8 or 10.
Something like that. Yeah, I think. And they're actually like some of them are pretty useful even casually. But for speedrunning, no, we can just make it with these 3.
Yeah, some of them would probably be useful in a run, like maybe the umbrella, maybe send throw, but they are way too far out of the way to be worth grabbing.
Yeah, so
even in all bosses.
No, it will not be optimized to grab them. Oh. Right.
Yep. So there's a little skip here that saves about 15 seconds of wandering around. Yep.
Toughest boss in the run, by the way.
Yeah, and then also Miss Snowball. It can actually attack you. Is the
yeah, right.
I'll give about Miss Snowball today.
she can actually do some attacks, yeah. But basically,
it is possible to die.
Yeah. Well, you can die if you like leave your controller on the table, go do something else during the fight. Because she's AFK. Like she doesn't like she.
It's very slow and deals very low damage. So we've just rushed all the way to Corrupted Monk. Basically, that's kind of the first super major boss that we're gonna take on. We're gonna defeat her in a very interesting way. So I may as well start explaining.
Yep.
So this boss has a strange property in the fact that you are allowed to stealth deathblow it from an aerial attack. It's probably some holdover from True Monk, which we'll see later, which is like kind of a clone boss, which it is intended to be able to do an aerial deathblow. But there's no easy way to get in the position to do the deathblow. So we need to do 2 things to get the deathblow. One, we need the boss not to see us, otherwise we're not stealthing. But luckily we can just run around the edge of the arena and the boss spawns but doesn't actually spot us. Now the other thing we need to do is push the boss back far enough so that we can jump off a pillar and get above her, which will let us to do the aerial death blow. And this boss only has 1 HP bar, which is quite unusual. It's because she has crazy posture regen to make up for it. So that means that this will be an insta kill. Yeah, so the firecrackers and the snap seeds are just there to push the boss back a little bit further. Nice.
Another scary part actually, but yeah. Like you can, it's not a difficult trick, but it's easy to like mess up, I will say. So yeah.
Yeah, you don't really get second tries on that because you're using items. If you lose the items like the snap seeds, then you're pretty screwed. So it is very scary in that sense. But
yeah, because I don't have any snap seeds for backup. So yeah, if I did miss it, like I know where to pick up snap seeds in case, but I will lose like heck ton of times. But yeah.
Yeah.
We don't care. We did it, so doesn't matter.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So there is a good reason why we want to go straight to Corrupted Monk. There's a bunch of things. Firstly, it gives loads of skill points, though we're not going to use them right yet. But the other thing is that this allows us to now swim underwater, because in Sekiro you can swim, unlike most other From Software games, but now we can swim underwater, which allows us to take advantage of probably the most broken glitch in Sekiro, which is you can swim out of bounds if you get into water out of bounds, basically. If you're familiar with like Spyro speedrunning, which has swim in air, it's exactly the same. We basically water generally goes a little bit out of bounds, so we just go out of bounds. Which was he just did like no problem, like by doing a delayed jump into a wall that just doesn't have collision. Jump out of bounds, and then we can just go underwater while out of bounds, which just lets us go out of the water, and we just do whatever we want. He did that literally just to save about 8 seconds climbing the tower. Now we're going to fight Greenitro. So here's the dead angling. So again, by not looking at the boss, they won't block, and so because that door is very conveniently there to keep him in place, this is basically an infinite combo. He's actually doing the hard version as well, which is where you use the 5th attack. He has to face Genichiro during the 5th attack because otherwise the attack will miss. So he has to like time it just well, where he starts the attack facing away, and then during the attack faces the boss. So that's like a minor optimization that saves like just maybe 2 seconds or something.
Yeah, something like that, I think, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise you can do like just 3 attacks or just 1 attack a bunch of ways. Then we're on the 3rd phase. By using an item, it baits that charge attack, so it gives us a consistent opening. The Yashirika Sugar halves our max HP, but we deal more damage. And then he's basically just gonna own Genichiro. We really want to see lightning attacks, because those are the ones that deal the most damage.
Dude, like, really?
Oh my god.
Okay. That's alright. Okay, so this is the first death.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
oh my
alright.
god. I was on the, literally simultaneously hit on the hit that would death blow him. And so you saw that Genichiro gained a bunch of posture. While you're not, like, pressuring the boss, they will just regain their posture. But yeah. So we just want to see the lightning as much as possible. The perfect RNG is just to get 2 lightning straight away. But lightning has a mechanic where if you jump into it and then attack before you hit the ground, you reflect it back, and it's insanely good. And it actually just makes the fights, every fight that has that is way easier because of it. Are you doing the faster cutscene strategy?
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I got it. Let's go, Pug. So now there's like a little bit of talking, so yeah, it might be a good time if you like have something to say, read, donations, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. No new donations as of right now, but if you look at the bottom of your stream, you can see the very last incentive that we have going on right now, which is the special costume incentive for Onimusha. Now I hear you ask, what kind of special costume is this exactly? Well, it is a very cute but fierce full-body panda costume, which we currently have 25 euros left to meet. So if you want to see that happen, get your donations in. I've seen a little preview of it, and I gotta say, it's incredibly cute.
I've actually seen the panda outfit on Onimusha, and after seeing it, I can't imagine seeing a speedrun without it. So, as far as I'm concerned, that's basically required for this run.
Yeah,
So
it's like the special
get that in.
costume in Resident Evil 4 speedrunning, so yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Well worth getting money in.
Oh, by the way, you remember the Tengu we talked with? Well, here it is.
Yeah.
This is Ishin. This is the same person, actually.
Well, yeah, spoilers, but yeah.
OMG. Yeah, spoilers.
Yeah, so we have to ask him where is the Mortal Blade in order to be able to go enter the monkeys fight. Technically, we could enter the monkeys fight without doing this, but then the game would get very confused, and I think it'd be impossible for us to fight all the remaining bosses.
You mean the monkey skip?
Yeah.
But the thing is, like all bosses, you need the memory, and if you do monkey skip, you don't have the memory. See if you. So,
yeah. No, well, I meant like you can like fall into the arena or airstream into the arena.
Right. Yeah, but none on this version of the game, I think.
Yeah.
It's only on 1.02.
Yeah, we probably have to play on down patch and stuff, but also like I'm pretty sure if you try to go for a Malt Severance, the game just breaks. So.
Oh really? Oh okay.
I think so, which is why it's only used at any % for sure. But we don't worry about that because we're actually doing the game as the game was intended. I say as he's airstreaming.
Yeah.
This is the big air swim. So this is way more impressive than it looks. So he has to go. He's trying to go to somewhere basically completely else in the game because the game's all just one big map. So he can just swim straight there. However, he can't because there are death planes all over the place. But also there are loads of places where the game would just crash if he air swimmed. And so you'll see him doing loads of bunch of random stuff. He's like knocking his head against an idol. He's like surfacing at a random point. He's doing a quit out. that's all to make the game load when it needs to do to not crash. If you did any of these steps any differently, the game would just crash. So this is all quite particular, all the movement's quite particular. Just goes a little bit too far left or right, then he just dies. Which is kind of difficult because you don't have many landmarks.
And this is why I do a quit out, by the way, to load the area as well, because otherwise, yeah, the game will crash, so...
Yeah.
Because quit out is allowed on unrestricted, of course, and not on glitchless.
Yes. Yeah, quitting out is used for a whole bunch of tricks, so it's not allowed in glitchless, but we're unrestricted, so no problem.
Alright.
Get some gotcha while swimming. That guy was probably like, what is going on? Just a flying guy. So this is a really cool strat. So this is Armored Warrior. This is a unique boss. You kill him by knocking him off the edge. But this strat was discovered like not super long ago. It's pretty cool that you can just get him to fall off the edge by, while air swimming.
Yeah.
And it's really useful because even though obviously we're skipping that fight, but because this is all bosses, we need to kill every boss, including him. That's just a really convenient way to kill him really fast.
Alright. Yeah, the run is pretty fast paced, like we do a lot of mid bosses in a row. Yeah, this is a mid boss as well.
There's a lot of bosses in this game. I actually don't know how many. Do you know? It's like 50?
50, I think? Like, do we count, like, if we count, like, Miss Noble, yeah, there's 50 boss fights, I guess.
Yeah, there's like 50 boss fights in this game, and we're doing all of them in, an hour and a half. It's fast.
Yeah.
This is Centipede. There's going to be some more Centipedes, but basically, this is like the rhythm game boss. It does like a bunch of consecutive attacks really fast. You just have to time the deflects. So that's no problem. We're going up to monkeys, and there's a good reason why we're doing monkeys fairly early in the run. It's because it gives us the Mortal Blade. And
yeah, the cheat code, you will see. Like, the Mortal Blade is by far the most important item, I will say, in the run, in the entire run. Like, the Mortal Blade is like, yeah, it's just...
Once we have that, everything changes, but first we've got to actually defeat the monkeys.
You could just be careful of these Beyblade guys. Alright,
yeah.
Okay.
It's a bit scary to open the door here, but it should be fine. It is possible to skip monkeys in any percent. They do monkey skip, but it's very, very precise, and also it would skip a boss fight. So obviously that's not super effective when you're trying to do all the bosses. Yep, so we had to do all that conversation with Ishin to be able to go in here, basically, otherwise we wouldn't be able to. So this is like a puzzle boss. There are 4 monkeys. We've got to kill all the monkeys. One of them's following you. Kill that straight away. And then there are kind of intended strategies for all the others where you like use the environment, but by gatching, we're so hard to see that we can basically just rush all the monkeys really quickly. The last purple monkey is a bit scary. Yeah. And that's why LeCadd, even though he has a gatching, still taking a roundabout route so that the monkey doesn't spot him very quickly. But yeah, you got it nice. It's scary because of all those other ghost monkeys that can just hit you, and if you're very unlucky, it can be really bad.
Yeah, because they do like terror damage, and basically terror damage, if you like, you probably saw like I had like a kind of a purple bar on the screen, and basically when that bar is filled up, you just die instantly, even if you're like full HP. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like Death Blight in Elden Ring. It's a status effect that just kills you.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna take some skills, and now we have the Mole Blade. Okay, so the Mole Blade, you will see. Like, I don't think there's any needs to like explain the Mole Draw. Like, Mole Draw is pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. So there are weapon arts in this game, which we do by pressing both bumpers at once. There's a whole bunch. Some of them are quite good actually, but we're only going to use one, and it's Mortal Draw, which you unlock once you have the Mortal Blade. And yeah, pretty much you'll see what it does once we get around to it. It's going to be our main way to kill most mini-bosses going forward. It does use up the spirit emblems, so prosthetics and combat arts use spirit emblems. It's a thing in the bottom right. So we can't literally just spam this forever. But luckily, every time we kill a mini boss, it refreshes our spirit emblems. So we do have a lot of them. Nice. So he trolled you with those 2 punches. I am amazed that you managed to deflect both those punches. I don't think I've ever deflected a punch. It's so difficult to react.
To be honest,
impressive.
I just spammed the the deflect button. To be honest,
You should have been quiet. You should have been like, oh yeah, of course,
just
I've
to
got
be
the
sure.
reaction speed.
Yeah.
So
No,
that's
I
a
don't.
really fun...
I don't have the reaction speed for the punch on this guy, but it doesn't do like damage if you take it. So yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah, so that's a really fun stealth death blow. We do it from really high up. It's actually kind of tricky, but the cat obviously knows what he's doing. And then we bait the boss away from all of his friends because he's surrounded by regular enemies and we don't want them interrupting us. And then we just mortal draw. End of story. We'd probably talk about why the mortal draw does so much damage. So,
Yeah.
basically, when the game came out, when I played it casually on version 1.0, it was decent, but it wasn't that good. It was okay. And it's supposed to, the Mortal Blade is supposed to be like a blade that can kill even immortal beings. It's supposed to be this obscenely powerful sword. So it was a bit underwhelming. So for whatever reason in 1.02, 1.03, From Software were like, why don't we just make it deal double damage? So that now, ever since that patch, it's really, really good. So casually, again, if you're struggling, use the Mortal Blade more. It's so good.
Oh yeah, it will save you. It will stagger like every boss, like almost every boss in the game. So yeah, that's pretty OP.
If you're struggling with this game, Firecracker's Mortal Blade, you'll be fine.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Because this game is pretty tough, actually, like, casually. Really, like...
Yes, it is. I think it's...
maybe the hardest From
Software
Software?
game.
Yeah.
We've not finished Elden Ring yet, so I have to see, but...
I don't know, but like gameplay-wise, I will say, like, this one is by far, like, the most complicated From Soft game.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay.
Yep, so this is a Gunfort, so he's used the Gatchin for a reason, so... This is the place that everyone that's played this game knows about. You get shot at by like 20 guys, all with like perfect aim. But first, we're going to do a mini boss. So LeCadd did something very particular there, where by doing very particular movement, she turns around and lets you get a stealth death blow. It's very strange. I don't know if anyone has actually a good explanation of why doing that movement just like that makes her turn around and give you her back.
I think it's because, no, honestly, I don't know. Like, might be because of where she spots you, because she spots you when you land. Oh, I died. Okay, but I died on the land, so that's pretty okay. That's pretty much okay. We're just gonna, yeah, healing board.
Yeah, so, yeah, before he actually fell down, but falling doesn't kill you in this game outright like it does in other From Software games. You just take a bunch of health. And that was, yeah, the hit that he took was just standard kind of Gunfort shenanigans. Sometimes you just get hit, no matter how fast you're moving, no matter how fast you're going, you just get hit, even if you Gatchined. It's kind of ridiculous.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Maybe after this mid-boss. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's really fast. So it's another centipede. So it's just gonna be like before, but now we have Mortal Blade, so we just Echo, and then Mortal Blade it, and then do some deflects in between, because it kind of armors through the Mortal Blade, so it's not actually super good to just spam Mortal Blade.
And that's it, yeah. So yeah, we have time now for a donation if you want.
Yep.
Okay. We've got 10 euros from Leaf saying, well, if the costume is mandatory, then so are donations, I guess. Which means that we are only 15 euros away from having a cute little panda for our next run. So if you want to see that cute little panda, get your donations in.
Yeah, make sure you get that met before the end of this run.
There's no cute panda outfit in Sekiro, sadly, but yeah.
They did add outfits, but you can't use them on new games, so...
And they're not like as cute as a little panda, sadly.
And they're all super serious.
Yeah. But they're cool though. Like they're good
cool.
looking. They're really good looking. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, so now we're gonna go for like probably one of the hardest boss in the game casually. For speedrunning, it's pretty okay. Like the fight can escalate really quickly though. So this is Guardian Ape. I'm just gonna take the idol just to be like 100% sure.
Yeah, I think even in speedrun it's barely challenging.
It is, but well, I found on all bosses it's pretty it's okay, but on sure glitchless for example, this is horrible. For example, but,
Yeah, it's definitely one of the strats that requires a lot more practice. We're going to be doing both phases of it completely differently, which is quite fun. Yep. So the first phase is when he's in like regular ape mode. Luckily, we have a strategy to deal with him because we have firecrackers and metal blade. We can stun the boss really quickly. And it just turns out that the way that the ape stagger animation is kind of coded is that it's in multiple parts, and we can just, rather than completely go through the stagger loop, which causes the boss to run away, we just let the boss play out its stagger animation and then interrupt it again, just at just the right time, and it lets us do a stun lock. So that makes it pretty free if you've got the mortal blade and the firecrackers. And next is headless. Headless is much scarier, but the main thing we were trying to do is we're trying to get him to do the overhead swipe, which even casually that's what you want to do. So certain attacks lead into it, so he's just looking for those combos to have it, and then if you get a perfect deflect on it, then you can use the spear, which pulls out the centipede inside it and does absolutely massive amounts of posture damage, especially because LeCadd used a Yashiriku, which again halves his HP but makes him deal more damage. So this lets him beat the boss really fast. And using the mortal blade to interrupt the scream, so we don't have to run away, just gets the fight done really fast. So that was pretty much textbook. So nice.
There was a Monka-esque part. I thought he would have done like the scream thing, and he actually did like an attack. So I had to deflect while I was jumping. So yeah, I was kind of
I was
sweating at that moment. Oh no, that wasn't intended at all. Like it's just...
yeah, it was the style.
Yeah.
Did you actually? Do you actually unlock mid-air deflect? I didn't actually realize that you did.
Yeah, because I think it's part of the like you need to unlock it to unlock the mid-air combat art. I think.
Ah, right. Sure. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I'm not 100% sure though.
Yeah, you can't deflect in the air by default. You have to have the skill, but it's a good thing you did have the skill. Otherwise, you just would have got hit.
Oh, everyone spotted me. Oh, the one. Oh, okay. The sniper spotted me. That's pretty bad. Should be okay, but we'll see.
So now that we have the mortal blade, we're just on a killing spree basically for the rest of the run. Kind of at the start, we kind of beeline towards corrupted monk for the air swimming, and then for monkeys for the mortal blade. But now we're basically good to go. We got everything that we need to just absolutely destroy bosses, so that's exactly what we're gonna do.
Yeah, the only thing I'm gonna grab like a little bit here and there is money, because I will need to buy some divine confetti later on. But yeah, that's all. You know what? I'm just gonna, I'm gonna play safe. I'm just gonna use my my prayer beads to make another necklace, and it should be fine. All right. I don't know if I don't know if we talked about it, but like every mid bosses gives you like prayer beads, in which like every 4 prayer beads you'll get like you can get like a necklace, and it will increase your HP, basically like your HP bar. So yeah.
And maximum posture, although we don't really care about that.
Really, yeah. Because the goal is to deflect everything, but it's always good like to like have like a little bit more, just in case you miss some deflects, because like I said, like the game is pretty tough, and some enemies like are pretty fast, so it can happen like you will miss like some deflects here and there, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, so now that we have the Shelter Stone from Corrupted Monk, we have the Mortal Blade from Monkeys, and we have the Lotus from Guardian Ape, it triggers the next story event, which is where Ashina gets invaded, and Owl's at the top of this, and this is where we have to make the big story decision: are we taking the evil, sure ending, or the good guy, Immortal Severance route? We need to make sure we pick the second option for the good guy route, otherwise this run is completely screwed. That's my way of reminding him not to mash A in this cutscene.
Yeah. Doing a Shura glitchless, Shura unrestricted on the fly. Yeah.
I guess it is really all mini bosses. You're going for including Shura as well. So this is Al. This is another dead angle. It's much harder to set up than the Genichiro one, which is like consistent. Owl can open the fight in just a huge number of different ways, and so LeCadd has to react and basically improv, get Owl into this corner, and he made it look really easy, but it's actually very not easy at all.
Because I think he gave me like the best opening ever possible. Yeah, I think it has like 4 or 3 different openings. A really slow one, and the other is pretty fast, but like it's more complicated to get him in the corner. The good thing is like I got the firecrackers, so basically I just can use the firecrackers to like keep him like in position and
Yep.
So a lot of talking again. So this is the lore part.
Yep, so this is the biggest bit of lore in the run, so yep, if you've got anything to read, now is the best time.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got 35 euros from Anonymous without any comment, but thank you nonetheless. But that means that we have indeed met the incentive for the panda costume, so thank you very much for your donations. Let's see that cute little panda for the next run.
Bog.
That is amazing.
Oh, did we explain the no subtitles trick on the
Oh,
game? Yeah.
Yeah, so if you play the game with subtitles on, like most people did, then if you try to press start to skip a dialogue, like get out of a dialogue, it doesn't count. Like you have to go through the whole dialogue, every line, otherwise it doesn't proceed. But it turns out if you turn off subtitles, that just isn't the case anymore. As long as you go through all the questions, all the moments where they give you an item, it just skips it. Like, changing the subtitles actually changes the behavior of the game for some reason. And it took us like a year to figure this out, because I guess Sekiro runners, they're all about the boss fight strats, but not the dialogue strats.
Yeah. There's dialogue optimization, I just know that. not only the fights, but yeah, the dialogues as well. Okay.
Yeah. I'm actually really bad at it as well, because you need to remember, like, okay, the first dialogue you can't skip, the second you can't, and I just always forget.
You can't skip every dialogue. Like, I don't know the details, but like there's some dialogue you can't skip because like you get an item during this dialogue or something. I don't know, but yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's worth noting, having not subtitles there probably saved like 20 seconds or something like that. It's a pretty major time save, just in that little section. So now we're in towards like the Immortal Severance-y bit. So this is True Monk, kind of like Corrupted Monk before, but we're actually going to fight them a little bit. Well, I say a little bit. That was it. Now we're just going to get True Monk to jump off the edge.
Yeah.
So this is a cool strat because well, it's not allowed in glitchless, because obviously it's like getting the boss to die without a death blow, but also you wouldn't see this normally in a like a PC any percent world record run, because they do a faster strategy, but it's kind of reliant on being able to spam attack obscenely quickly, and so it's not particularly viable on console.
And so it's pretty, yeah, I think it's like frame perfect on PC, so yeah, it's pretty difficult on the controller. Because they use like the scroll, I think, to attack. On,
so how people do it on PC is they bind attack to scrolling on their mouse wheel, and then they can use that to attack basically every frame. And that way they can basically do a trick where they get an instant death blow on the first phase. But LeCadd would struggle to do that with his Mega controller, so he's going to do this strat as well, which is a really cool strat. So basically, by performing the actions you saw, it kind of gets the boss stuck right on the edge, and now he's just going to keep pushing her until eventually she is in just the right place. Does the death blow. And then, so there should be 2 more phases because the 3-phase boss fight, but instead, she's just dead. So I, for the longest time, always thought that she's actually falling off the edge, but that's actually not what's happening.
No, she's actually just disappear into the abyss, so yeah.
Yeah, so you saw it very briefly if you were paying really close attention, but she actually T-poses after the
I don't know what
the
it...
first effort. I think I saw her start to do it as you were running away. But something about being in that position where she doesn't want to be, starting phase 2, but the game just gives up and kills her. It's very strange. Who knows how it works?
I still don't know how wide it works, to be honest, but yeah.
Yeah. So that's this is actually a strat. It looks pretty normal, but he actually just skipped there. So that lightning, which he actually took a death to, is supposed to be impassable. Like you're not supposed to be able to do what he just did. It's you're supposed to always die, but by doing very particular movement, all of those lightnings will get hit by the geometry or they'll miss you, until you can skip doing the whole palace section on the left, and we can go straight to where the big fish is, and go straight towards Divine Dragon, which is a pretty good time save.
Yeah. Oh, huge one. Even though we still need to go here, because there's a mid-boss actually, because the one who shoots the lightning is a mid-boss, so we need to find him, but yeah.
Yeah.
Because like, if you go like the whole way around, like this area is pretty tough, to be honest, so yeah, that's not very good. So this is why we skip that.
It's so fast that it even saves time in all bosses, even though we now have to backtrack and do the area backwards to kill the mini bosses.
Yeah, right.
It's still faster, so yeah, it saves a lot of time in the any percent categories. Yeah, this is one of the free mini bosses, well, almost free. Generally, she gets to do 1 attack, which she's not even going to get to do because he just shurikened her. One of the very few uses of shuriken there, and that is she gets 1 shot by Mortal Blade because Mortal Blade is good. So we're going to see the first instance of Headless. So there's 5 Headless. So Headless is basically one of the main special things about this category. All the other categories don't fight Headless because they don't give prayer beads, so all beads doesn't fight Headless, but all boss and mini bosses does. So they basically take no damage unless you use Divine Confetti, which makes our sword all glowy and purpley. So we do that first, and then we just beat up on the boss. So 2 of them are underwater. This is one of the underwater ones, obviously, and then the others are
on the ground,
above water. Yeah, they're underground in dark places, but not underwater. So it's kind of finicky fighting underwater, but you got it nice.
And the most important thing to say is like Headless are absolutely horrible. Like these are probably the hardest like bits of the run by far. Like Headless, the one underwater are pretty okay to deal with, but yeah, in general, Headless are really tough fights. I remember casually really struggling really hard with this fight. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about them more when we get to the non-underwater Headless fights, but yeah, they are horrible.
All right.
This is the other bull fight, the Sekiro bull. So this is actually a pretty interesting strategy. That's an intended quick kill, which is if you firecracker the bull from stealth, so when the bull doesn't know where you are, then it goes crazy, and if it hits a wall, it just instantly posture breaks itself, and then you can death blow it.
Okay, toughest spot in the run now, because remember the Headless we did? Now we're gonna do 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're gonna do 3 almost in a row. So yeah, now this is probably like the toughest part in the entire run. So yeah, but first. So yeah, we're gonna do this mid-boss that we can do at the very beginning, but it's way much interesting to do it now, because like we have the mole draw, so it's way much interesting to do it now.
Yeah, we actually run past this guy, but because we have to run past him again, it's way faster just to Mortal Blade. I don't think we explained why we're jumping Mortal Blade. So, we picked up the skill which lets us do combat arts in the air, which lets us use Mortal Blade in the air. Oh, he trolls you so bad.
Yeah,
All you
I'm
need
gonna.
to do is hit him once.
I'm playing safe. I'm gonna go back to the idol to take my resurrection back. Because the
Yeah.
headless, the headless can go horribly wrong. So yeah, I just want to make sure, 100%, like everything
that
will
makes
go
sense.
fine. Okay.
But yeah, with the Mortal Blade, we can jump now with the skill, which allows us to like reposition and rush the boss with Mortal Blade, which is just really good in itself. But also, for whatever reason, it's probably a bug. It deals even more damage by doing it in the air. We feel like it has something to do with the fact that there's a way to get an empowered version where you like charge it up, and it seems to do as much damage as the empowered version. So the game seems to think that it's the empowered version when you do it in the air. But regardless, it does more damage. So that's part of the reason why it does absolutely ridiculous damage.
All right.
Yeah. So this is headless. These like pretty much everyone finds headless the worst fights. There's loads of things that make them really difficult. You move really slow around them until you've hit them a few times with confetti. If your confetti runs out, you won't be able to do any more damage. Basically, you see all the mist makes it so that he can only walk until we deal enough hits. All of the attacks are really hard to deflect because they're all really slow and unclear, so it takes a lot of practice to be able to hit the deflect timings, because if you're like me, you always kind of are pressing it like too early just because it swings its sword around just really slow. We can't stealth deathblow the headless either, so we have to do 2 full height fights, and also we can't use Mortal Blade because the Mortal Blade doesn't get the Divine Confetti buff, so it would just basically do nothing. Yeah, pretty much everything is stacked against you in headless fights.
Yeah, this mid boss is
Yeah,
just horrible. Yeah, just remember that. Just headless are horrible. Yeah, right. Like the fight is cool. I found the fight cool, but like for speedrunning, it's pretty horrible. Cause like it can go really wrong.
Yeah.
Because it does terror damage, by the way. So if you if you don't deflect, like do a perfect deflect, my bad. You lose some health, of course. And like Murtalk say, this is the only enemy in the game who do like slow attacks like that. So like the timings are horrible. Because like you used to like you are used in Sekiro to have like fast enemies, so you got the rhythm, fast rhythm, and you like and then you have like a boss like this who does like slow attacks. So that's kind of annoying. So the timings are really, really, really weird on this boss. But once you get it, it's pretty alright. But you can still get trolled. Like I did.
I think I think everyone that's fought Headless knows. And I saw someone in chat also said, fun fact, like when Headless disappears, if you don't immediately turn around and attack where Headless reappears, it does like a very strange attack where it's like a grab attack, and it's really slow and it deals a loads of damage. And so you also have to watch out for that. And
it would have killed me if I took the. It's one shot basically. Like even if like I didn't use the Yashariku, like it would have one shot me. I think. I'm not sure, but.
Yeah. So basically, Headless are terrible.
Yeah, Headless are horrible.
So,
okay, so this is probably
another
the worst opening. Worst opening. Thank you, game. Okay. That's alright.
Yeah, so underwater headless are actually very different from regular ones. They have like ranged attacks and stuff. So you don't have to use the Divine Confetti against the underwater headless as well, which is one of the differences. We wouldn't deal anywhere near this much damage if we weren't use Divine Confetti on an above water one. But nice. Doing some good kind of circle strafing while attacking to like avoid while attack while also dealing damage, so that was nice.
Okay. Okay, one more. Well, no, actually 2 more, but like the very last headless should be pretty Nah, I don't want to jinx myself. I was about to say 3,
Yeah.
but this one though, this one coming up is, well, not coming up right now, because like there's another mid boss coming up first, another lone shadow, another ninja. So we're gonna sneak up, gonna buffer my ash here, and there we go. All right.
Yeah, it's worth noting that LeCadd actually can't do the bosses in whatever order he wants, because some bosses disappear at certain points in the story. There's been quite a few that he's done around Ashina Castle that disappear, but this is actually also one of the ones that disappears. After Divine Dragon, this one disappears, so he has to make sure he does it before Divine Dragon.
Because there is some like key moments, I will say, in the game. Most major ones will be when you meet the owl, your father, when you do the choice with the Shura ending or the almost Severance ending, and then yeah, after the Divine Dragon. And there's some mid-boss, yeah, who just disappears right after. So that's why the order is really like important. Okay, here it is.
Yeah, so another headless fight, woo!
Yeah, bug. Okay.
So it's probably worth saying, like, you don't get prayer beads from headless, you actually get these special items that use spirit emblems to use, but basically are the same as using consumable items. And so that's actually what he's been using against this fight. That item in his hotbar is basically an infinite use Yashiriku sugar, which is actually useful for the run. So that's actually one benefit of actually fighting the headless. So basically able to yash on every fight he wants to.
Ah. Okay. Whew.
Nice.
Okay, tough part done. Whew. Oh,
I just realized I didn't even talk about the fact that also headless inflict terror, which is that purple bar in the middle. If that fills up, you die. Well, there's so many things to say about why they're terrible.
because the boss wasn't difficult enough, so yeah, just from so. Oh no,
Yeah.
I did wrong. Okay.
If you block its attacks, it deals like a third or maybe more of your terror bar rather than a deflect. Yeah, it's just
it's horrible. It's just horrible. Like this boss is a nightmare. All right. So we're coming for the key moment we were talking about with the Divine Dragon. Oh, by the way, the reason I'm doing all this stuff right now, like the eavesdrop and lore thing, is because it will unlock a optional area later in the run, and there's actually some bosses and mid-bosses there. So I need to trigger, and basically all this stuff is for unlocking the others ending, because like there is let me think. I think there's like 4 endings. Like there's 2 main paths, but like there's 4 endings in total. And so there's the Purification ending, the Immortal Severance ending, the other one I don't remember.
the return ending.
Oh yeah, the return ending and the Shura ending. So and so you need to do like some stuff like the Dark Souls. If you play Dark Souls, you know what I mean. Like you need to do like some quest lines, optional quest lines to unlock these endings. And this is the same with Sekiro. So yeah, basically, and it will unlock an optional area. And there's some bosses there, and since it's all bosses, mid-bosses, we need to do them, so yeah. Alright. I'm gonna use a confetti here. You know what? Because I have enough. And
Yeah, the return ending is pretty involved, but there are actually no mini-bosses or bosses involved or associated with it, so we don't need to actually worry about that. We just have to worry about the one that lets us refight Owl. So this is the Divine Dragon, this is part 1. Basically we just have to kill all of the white dragons. They respawn infinitely, but when they respawn they come back as black ones, so you know which ones you need to kill basically. So the main way to do it is to jump up on the tree and then do the aerial death blow as you saw there, which just kills absolutely everything in a massive radius. It's kind of a slightly annoying section because it's kind of RNG whether or not you'll be able to kill them all really quickly. See, like had like waiting until they're all spawned.
Oh, there's one missing. I don't know where he is.
Although, yeah, just one missing, which is super easy to have happen because it's like, where even is it? I don't even know. Like,
oh,
it's
easy.
just like,
Alright. Hello there.
Yeah, there he is finally.
And let's see. And the game crashed. Okay, that's what I thought. Alright, no worries. Just reload the game. Alright.
Oh, did the game just crash?
Yeah, the game just crashed. I knew it, but like, that's okay. That's okay. So basically, when it crashes, just reload the game. If you like going for like a real attempt, I will say, it's like, if it happens, it's like a rip run, because out of 4 and quitting the game is not allowed. Quit outs are allowed, but like quitting the game, like the whole game is not allowed. So that's sad because I have to go back to, I had to do the whole first part of the dragons again, but now it should be alright, it will not crash, so yeah.
Yeah, that was incredibly unfortunate. We literally were talking about it before the run, like this could happen.
Yeah.
It's a known thing on console that it can just crash on that cutscene.
Yeah. It can crash on
load,
PC as well, but it's I think it's more like likely to happen on console than PC for some reason, but yeah.
Yeah, this game can crash. I think everyone that's run this game has had it crash at least once, but there's no real rhyme or reason to it in PC. But on console, there's particular moments where it has a risk, and this is where it is on console. It's very unfortunate because the killing all of the dragons is kind of slow, so you have to do it all over again. Yeah.
Would you like me to read some stuff out in the meantime?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Let's go for it. Yeah.
Alright, well, for those of you just joining in, we are the Benelux Speedrunner Gathering. We organize bi-monthly gatherings in the Benelux for speedrunners. Due to the situation surrounding COVID-19, we're currently doing our events online for the time being. This event features streamers from both the Benelux and the rest of the world, bringing you entertainment during the lockdown. We are raising money for Mind, which is a nationwide organization committed to prevent mental health issues and to support everyone who is dealing with mental issues themselves or within their family. All of your donations will go to Mind.
So now the real dragon boss, the divine dragon. Okay.
So this fight is like part auto-scroller, part not. I think most people at first thought this was an auto-scroller, but there is actually a strategy that we have that you're already seeing. So it turns out that the trigger to start basically the end of the fight is based on I can never remember. I think it's hit points, isn't it? And when the dragon comes down to do its melee attack, you can actually hit it, especially with the Mortal Blade, and it'll actually mean that we will have to do less lightning reversals, because the lightning reversals are basically just on a timer. When you wait long enough, lightning appears on a tree, and you can use it to fire lightning at the dragon. That was
pretty...
some cool reversal there. Where you was sent away. And
this one was cool. Okay, so that was pretty bot RNG actually. Well, I missed a couple hits. I could have like do the fight better, but that's okay. That's still decent. It's still like you can lose like a ton of time on this fight. On all bosses, it's not that much of a problem since it's a pretty long run, so that's okay. But like for Immel Severance speedrun, yeah, this run is. I mean, this fight is pretty tense.
For runs that have Divine Dragon, it's a massive run killer because you really want good RNG and to not miss any hits on the head to get the minimum number of lightnings, because it takes a pretty good amount of time just for one of them to spawn, so it's a really good time save to get it really optimal. But now this section is all completely scripted. It does the exact same thing every time, so it's basically an auto-scroller, and then you just do the final hit.
Yeah. So this is, so like we said, this is a key moment in the game. So basically, after this boss, like the whole world of Sekiro is gonna change. So there is gonna be like, some mid bosses is gonna disappear, some new bosses gonna appear. And there's some mid-bosses that's gonna appear as well, so we're gonna fight them. And yeah, it looks like the end of the run, because like if you did the game casually, like it's almost the end. Like I think it's like one of the last bosses. But there's still a lot of things coming up, like no worries. So yeah. Oh no, I should rest, okay, because I need my emblems. Alright. So Ishin is dead. No. Or maybe he's not. I don't know. Spoiler, spoiler. Okay. So, the reason I was picking up Gatchin Sugar, it's for some bosses, and the next one is one of them. I'm gonna sneak up behind him again. Oh. And yeah, just like remove one of his HP bar instantly. And this section is actually pretty tough because like you can get trolled, but should be alright. Okay, so I need my spear, very important. Alright, so this guy will not spot you, so you just make your way. Try to avoid getting hit, of course. You go here, just get on the left as much as you can. Alright, and here it is, here's the big boy.
Yeah, so this is one of the trickiest mini-bosses in the entire run. So he's really tanky. Got to be the tankiest mini-boss. So first we do the stealth death blow. So that means we only do one more. But he has armor, so we can pull the armor off with the spear. So that means we can do more damage, which is great. But now what we want to do is basically get him next to this explosive crate. One of the enemies shoots it. We get him right in the right position, and it explodes and does almost all his posture in a single hit. And then we just do one deflect and take care of him.
Monka W, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Holy moly. Okay.
So there's RNG. I'm pretty sure it is RNG of like how quickly or when the enemies shoot the barrel and make it explode. So it's a really scary strategy, and it saves a really good amount of time. So again, another big kind of run killer moment. Kind of an interesting thing he actually just did there. He just got the Young Bell Charm. You're probably thinking, where did he get that from? You're supposed to get it really early in the game by talking to an NPC, but it turns out if you go all the way until everything's on fire and going to hell, she's gone now, but you can just suck up the item by just holding down the X button on Xbox.
Yep.
Which is, you just suck it up just like you would any other item that's dropped by an enemy. And there you go.
Alright.
So,
okay, so
so
first I'm
now
gonna
this
acquire
is-
some skills again.
Oh, yeah, nice.
'cause, I need those. I'm gonna take this one, should be okay. And yeah, this boss. Holy god. Alright.
So this is Demon Hatred. Demon Hatred is basically like the super boss of the game, the optional super boss. He has 3 HP bars. He's way tankier than every other boss in the game. It's not even close. He's way harder than even the final boss.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is means it's definitely a good thing that we're not playing glitchless, because you might have noticed this is a very familiar arena. This is the exact same arena as the Gobu fight, and so by baiting Demon Hatred over into that corner, we can do the exact same thing. So we're just going to escape the arena. That deloads the invisible walls. So now Demon Hatred can fall off the edge, which it did immediately, which is kind of unfortunate you get to see him fall off, but we save those frames instead. And then he just dies from falling off the edge.
Easy peasy,
So,
right? Yeah, this fight
That
is...
saves so much time.
Yeah, this fight is horrible. Like, this fight is really complicated because it's a really long fight. 3 phases, and like, he has... For speedrunning, like, every single attack will one-shot you because you use the Yash, of course. And yeah, that's horrible. So yeah, good thing this is unrestricted and we can skip him.
Yeah. Now we're going into Headless Ape. This is an interesting fight because in the second part it's going to be like a double fight with 2 apes. But I guess From Software thought that fighting 2 bosses at once was kind of scary, so what they did is they made Headless Ape fairly squishy, not have very much HP to make up for that, which means that if we Yash, Jumping Mortal Draw, yeah, Headless literally just dies, like, instantly.
Instantly, yeah. So yeah, you see like the other ape in the back? Well, you don't see him now, but like, yeah. There it is.
Yeah. Then we just use the Immortal Draw to finish off.
And that's it. Alright. So now we're gonna go for like the optional area I was talking about. So I picked up like 2 belts. Murtok told you about one. I picked up another one when I was right before Divine Dragon when I was talking to Emma. Because there's actually 2 trips to do in this area. But first I'm gonna grab this. Okay, so the reason I'm grabbing the finger whistle, it's because there's a mid-boss later in the game who will not spawn. He will not spawn if you don't equip the finger whistle for some reason. Because it gives you like an item that upgrade the whistle. And for some reason, if you don't equip the whistle, if you don't build the whistle, this enemy will never spawn. So really important to grab it, even though we are not going to use it. But yeah, this is Hirata Estate. Yeah. And this is an area you usually do like really early when you do your first playthrough of the game. Pretty tough when you do the game casually. But for speedrunning, as you see, like we do it like really late in the game. So basically, we are way like too much stronger for the area, we'll say. So you will see, it's gonna be self-explanatory again.
Yeah, we're gonna blow up everything, which is actually really good because the boss of this area, Butterfly, is actually a huge pain. So just getting to blow her up with huge attack power and Mortal Blade is ideal. So first required mini boss here of this section. He's gonna die in 1 hit.
There we go.
We don't even need to yash. Yashing would just be a waste of time because he just dies in 1 hit anyway.
Yeah, with just 1 jump model draw and yeah, he's gone. This is basically like a this mid boss is also a tutorial for Mikiri counter in the game because like every attack he does, you can Mikiri it. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but like yeah.
Most of the attacks, yeah. And he's surrounded by other enemies, who's a huge pain, but we just kill him easily instead.
Oh, come on. Thank you. Alright. And you're probably gonna recognize the next character, actually. So, let's see. Here it is. Our father again. So you're like, wait, you just killed him before. Well, because Hirata Estate is actually in the memory. Like, it's, is it like 3 years before the events of Sekiro? Like the main game? I don't know. Like
I can't remember. It tells you at the start, but...
Yeah. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's something like that, like 3 or 5 years, I don't remember.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
This section is, set in the past.
Right.
I'm going to quickly answer a question that was put in chat where people were like, how do you beat every boss in a single playthrough? And yeah, the correct answer is technically we can't. We can't actually beat Shura Ishin and get every memory in a single playthrough. When the game was new, people considered the category being that you have to do 2 playthroughs, you have to do a new game plus playthrough. But ultimately we decided that it's not very interesting to do all bosses apart from one and then do a Shura playthrough, like an any percent Shura playthrough. So we decided that it's all bosses and mini bosses apart from one. The same goes for all memories category as well. Yeah, so this guy's a pretty interesting mini boss here. We can use the Gatchin to just get that stealth death blow, which I'm sure nobody casually figured out you could do that stealth death blow. And then we can just use a mixture of firecrackers and mortal blade, just take him out before any of his enemies interrupt us. That definitely can go badly if some of the other random enemies.
Yeah, one of them tried. Like I don't know if you saw it. Like one of them with the shield tried so hard to hit me, but yeah, no, that's alright. Alright.
So that's the 2 mini bosses down of Hirata 1, and now it's going to be Butterfly, which is the boss of Hirata 1. So as I said, this is a really tough fight. Like, she's very fast, has very good posture regen. If we didn't leave her till way later, this definitely would be much, much slower. You can see she's not even squishy. Like, despite how absurdly powerful we are, 2 mortal draw swings does not one-shot her. But she has 2 phases. The second phase she always appears in a particular spot, so we can stand there and be ready. So Yash, double mortal blade. Yeah, you can see like she's just so fast. She's so evasive. She jumped out of the second mortal draw swing, which was kind of unlucky. So you actually have to fight her a little bit, but you nailed it, so good job.
There we go. Easy peasy. And yeah, the second phase is horrible because she like summon like little spirits, like dude spirits. So you have like enemies wandering about in the arena. But because we do this fight like so quickly, she doesn't even have the time to summon them. That's pretty powerful. All right. So I'm gonna do my last necklace, or maybe nah, maybe I'm gonna do another one later just to be safe. All right. So there's a second trip to go to do like in Errata, but first we're gonna do a mid boss that will give you a pretty interesting item, which is the Tento, but we have to fight him first. And this one is pretty self-explanatory, but it can escalate quickly as well.
So this is the Shichimen.
Right.
There are 3 of these, and there's a reason why we've left them all to the end.
Oh.
They're also really annoying.
I took the terror. Okay, whatever. Alright, that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. So, as you can already see, they actually share a lot of properties with Headless. They only take significant damage while you have Divine Confetti up. They can inflict terror, and also they love to teleport away and troll you. Luckily, when they teleport away, they actually deterministically always go to where is furthest away. Ooh. Ah, that was unlucky.
Okay, I never did like a sketchy Shishimin like this in my life, but yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, that was just improv, like, to be honest. Like, I never did a fight like this before. But, yeah, okay.
Yeah, nice job. That was scary. It was, you can see how scary they are, even though, like, that's a fairly early game mini-boss, and we're super late game and it's still pretty scary. The terror can just kill you.
Really fast, yeah, definitely.
Another thing you'll see as well is that if it ever deflects an attack, it will teleport away, and that loses a ton of time, and also it means your Divine Confetti might run out, and that's really horrible. So we have to try and dead angle, so by moving kind of around the boss, which is what LeCadd was trying to do, but it can, even though you're constantly hitting it, it isn't stun locked, unlike some other mini bosses, so it can hit you, and so you have to be ready to immediately switch into deflecting, and it's really tricky. So any win is a good fight, I'll say. So another mini boss, another Lone Shadow, not too difficult. This guy summons dogs, but we're never going to let him summon dogs. We're just going to beat him up. We saw the first use of Tanto as well. So Tanto is an item that we just got that means that we basically take a bunch of damage, but it gives us some extra spirit emblems. So we can use that to use Mortal Draw more, use Firecrackers more, etc.
Alright. Okay, so remember the big guy we fought in Errata 1? He's here again.
But stronger, much better stats, and also he's got a Lone Shadow friend. So this is one of the most interesting and difficult strats in all bosses, in my opinion. So first we do a stealth death blow, which is fairly easy, but now we're gonna do something different. So we're gonna use Blood Smoke.
I'm gonna do something I messed up a little bit. For some reason, I haven't done the death blow on the Lone Shadow. I really need to kill the Lone Shadow though, because like this man is horrible. But I think like I did the quit out, but I think like sadly, I respawn here. Yeah, that's sad. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is oh, you know what? I'm just gonna suicide and it will teleport me back to I can do that. Or I can do that. Oh no, it's useless. Okay. No, I'm just gonna die. Okay, kill me. Please.
Yeah,
right.
So this...
The reason I'm doing this is because I really need to kill the Lone Shadow, and I need to remove 1 health bar to Juzu. Really important, so this is why I'm doing this. I have backup Gatchin, so that's okay. So it puts me back here, which is fine. So technically I have 3 tries, well maybe not 2, because I need the Gatchin for a boss later on. Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, so what makes this fight so difficult is there's not just the mini boss, but also Lone Shadow. We really want to stealth deathblow both of them because if we leave the Lone Shadow alive, he's super aggressive and he's not gonna let us just kill the Jizu. But if we stealth deathblowed the Lone Shadow and not the Jizu, we'd have to do 2 full HP bars, which would lose a ton of time. So instead we're going to use Blood Smoke, which we do by doing a back deathblow on the back, which on that regular enemy, which causes the Blood Smoke, which has this property that if enemies lose track of you, which lets us get a stealth deathblow on both of those enemies. Which is a pretty cool strategy, but it's very scary because it's dependent on enemy movement, which is obviously not something we can completely control. But once you've got the Lone Shadow out of the way, it's fairly straightforward to just Mortal Blade.
The reason I'm killing this guy is because I need 20 emblems and I only have 18, so I'm just gonna take his, and there we go. Alright.
Yeah. And you might have thought, okay, well, you killed the second HP bar of Jizu really fast, like, couldn't you just do that twice instead? Well, it's because we burned all our emblems doing Mortal Draw. We would then have no emblems, so the second phase would be really slow. So now is Owl Father, considered by many to be the hardest fight in the entire game. Well, I think Demon Hatred is definitely harder, but he's basically a contender for hardest fight.
Okay. Why? Alright.
Oh, that's
unfortunate, but yeah, that's fine. So what I'm gonna do... Yeah,
those.
I'm not gonna use the Tento, you know what, I'm just gonna play,
Yeah, so we always kind of want to interrupt Owl as much as possible and then just stay aggressive. But what happened there is Owl kind of beat us to the punch. And LeCadd just attacked just a few frames too late, and so Owl beat us out and they hit us before we hit him.
Nice. That was still a fast fight, even if I didn't like have the opportunity to do Mortal Draw on phase 2. That was still a decent fight, so yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was a good fight, really well backed up there, nice.
Alright. And now almost the end of the run actually, so
yeah, so we've killed basically the 2 optional super hard bosses, Owl Father and Demon Hatred. We've just got a few mini bosses left and the final boss.
And that will be it. So yeah. Okay. Just gonna make our way. Alright. So remember the first guy we killed when we got the Mortal Draw, the fast samurai guy? Okay, we're gonna fight him again, but this one is more aggressive and does way much damage, so yeah, here it is. Well, it's not the same guy, but it's the same type of enemy.
Yeah, it's a clone of the Ashina Elite, so.
Yeah.
He's got red eyes, that's how you know that he's stronger.
Easy peasy. Okay.
Yeah, so they're relatively squishy, so you can Mortal does a lot of damage. Also, he's just optimizing them by also dead angling. He's been dead angling his Mortal blades for a lot of the fights in the run. But it just makes it less likely that they'll block, which means more likely that they'll take full damage.
Okay, interesting trick here. Now what I'm going to do, I killed the ninja on the left, and I'm doing a quit out. So like the enemy I killed is dead, and now I can do a stealth death blow actually on the actual mid boss of this room. So here it is. And
yeah, so another example of a Lone Shadow regular enemy right next to a mini boss, and if we just let the Lone Shadow enemy be there, then he would wreck us while we're trying to do the second phase of the mini boss, and so a way more consistent and reasonable strategy is to take care of him first.
You seem better here. So this is this kind of enemy. Oh.
Yeah.
Alright. Another ogre, but this one is gonna be pretty fast because we have the multiple draw, so basically, yeah. I'm just gonna be here, burst through my Yash.
Yep, you even got a couple of guys helping you out, kill the ogre.
Yeah. Okay.
Which actually makes it harder because if you hit them, then they might start attacking you, and or you know maybe you'll accidentally death blow one of the enemies, regular enemies instead.
Yeah, that's the tricky part here is because like when you want to like do another death blow, because you're close to the enemy you just killed, Sekiro is just gonna kill this guy. But you're invincible while you're in the animation of the death blow, so that's okay. Okay, so now, look, I've learned my lessons for like past events. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna take this little idol here.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is another scary mini boss because he's guarded by a really strong enemy. Wow, think a pattern. So again, we kind of need a strategy to be able to deal with both strong enemies simultaneously. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up Ganchin so we can stealth right up to them, and then so we can get that one stealth blow. Our strategy this time though is just a YOLO. He's not a lone shadow, so he's a bit less aggressive, and so usually it's fine to just wail on him. But there's a reason why LeCadd took that idol there, because we're just assuming that the general will be nice.
But sometimes it's not. That's the problem.
Yep. No, this is not.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Okay, so usually when you do a run, like an optimized run, this is the path for the last boss of the game, Ishin. But since it's a marathon, I'm gonna do like the cleanup bosses first. And I will keep like Ishin for the last part, like for more spectacular content. Okay,
Yeah,
so...
You're allowed to kill the boss in any order. You don't need to end on the final boss in the rules. And in the optimized route, we just quit out after killing the final mini boss. But that's kind of a bit anti-hype for a marathon, so...
Right. So I'm just gonna do all these cleanups, boss, and I will have all the time in the world to do Ishin. All right. So this one, this mid boss is pretty tough. Actually, it's probably my favorite mid boss in the game, but this is a pretty
favorite?
tough. Yeah, I think it's my favorite.
I mean, I guess it's cool, but oh my god, Orin is so annoying to fight.
Yeah.
Orin's really difficult, yeah.
But I really like this one. To be, like, I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. Man. It's just that I'm surprised because I find her very annoying. She goes kind of like translucent, and whenever she goes translucent, she's totally invulnerable. She can't take any damage, so you can't just like wail on her. We can't just like dead ankle her. We kind of have to play her game a little bit, and her attacks are very strange, and you have to kind of learn them all individually how to deflect them. But LeCadd made it look nice and easy. It's very helpful to come back right at the end of the game for Orin, just because she's a slow mini boss. If we did her, like, we ran past her basically like an hour ago, but oh my god, that fight would have been terrible if you'd fought her.
No, yeah. And this one coming up will be really horrible as well if you do it like really early in the run.
Yeah,
so this is the
so
last, at least, the very last one.
Yep.
But this one should be okay because like this is early at least, so we have like we do way much damage, so it should be easier-ish now.
Yeah, there's the teleports behind you. Nice. It's a really good phase one.
And there we go. I even didn't have to use the second Yashariku sugar, so that's cool. That's good. Oh.
Nice.
Alright. So now there's another, like a Juzu-like boss. But first we're gonna take out these monkeys, because they are really annoying. Oh.
Yeah, another mini boss surrounded by enemies, so we need strats to deal with them. The safest way is to use shurikens. You could YOLO this.
Yeah.
I've seen people lose runs to YOLO in this fight.
And there we go. So because we don't have the monkeys, we can like completely focus on him, and yeah, he is pretty easy to beat with mold draw and firecrackers. You just saw how powerful mold draw and firecrackers are in the game. Like it staggers every enemies, well, almost every enemies. So yeah.
Yeah, those cheaters are actually somewhat resistant to firecrackers. They
Yeah.
don't get repeatedly stunned infinitely like most enemies do. But still, they get staggered the first time. So, this is the mini boss that we needed the whistle for him to spawn. And this is another Shichiman. So, again, we're going to be dead angling so that he doesn't deflect. Because if he deflects, that's a bunch of time loss every time he teleports away.
Alright.
Yeah, as a reminder, the way that
I did a little mistake. Yeah, I just hit his guard. That's okay though.
Yeah, that's it. It's super easy to do. I do it all the time when I'm fighting these guys. Always getting the perfect dead angles.
Right. I don't know why, but like the last death blow on this guy, like death blowing this guy when you kill him, like when his posture bar is full, is freaking finicky for some reason. Like the camera is really weird. Like you'll miss it sometimes. That's really
That's
really
another
strange.
hard part of dead angling is you're not locked on to the boss, so you're not facing them. So when they dead angle, you're not ready to just do it. You need to, face the boss and then go do it. And certain bosses like Shichiman actually only give you a few seconds to do it. Otherwise, he just recovers.
Alright. So now, the reason I'm doing this little thing here is on purpose. It's because otherwise I won't be able to deathblow this guy. I don't know the technical stuff of this, but like, you can't just like go out and jump on him and deathblow him. It doesn't work like that. You have to like aggro him in a way and then come back and then you can deathblow him from above.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea why that works that way, but it does, so that's why he does it.
Yeah, right.
It's actually really easy to miss that death blow as well, because you're moving super fast, very tight window to actually get it.
So usually the run finish here, when you do Ishin when I was supposed to do him, you do a quit out and that's it, but we still have Ishin to do, so let's go. Okay, so the reason I'm not doing this like often, so I don't know where is the, okay, I don't know where is the teleport thing, but okay.
Yeah.
So now the final boss. The two final bosses, actually, because there's two bosses on Ishin. So there's actually 4 phases on this fight.
Yeah,
Alright.
so this is the final boss of the full Mortal Severance playthrough. It'll firstly be Genichiro with 1 phase and then 3 phases of Sword Set Ishin. So Genichiro is fairly straightforward. He's mostly the same as he was before, although now he has Mortal Blade attacks, which he always starts off with. But we can just kind of do our regular strategies. He did his big long combo attack, which is the slowest thing you could get, so that's unfortunate, but you just move out the way. So first phase of Sword Set Ishin is pretty simple actually. He just uses his sword and we know what to do. Basically, if you just wail on him and force him to deflect, we can make him very consistent. Phase 2 is definitely the hardest with the spear. He now has way more attacks that he can do. And we need to kind of deflect every hit, because if deflecting the first hit of a combo interrupts the combo and he won't do the rest of the combo. But if LeCadd ever misses the timing on a deflect, he'll do a full long combo, and that's really not good, either for his health bar or for going fast. And phase 3 is just pray for lightning. Every time he uses lightning, we do a lightning reversal, and that just saves a ton of time. And he likes to use lightning quite a lot, so normally it's not too difficult. Nice, you got lightning's fairly quick.
Yo, I had
insane
phase 3, insane phase 3, dude. Wow. Okay.
3.
And that was good. And yeah, that was the final boss of the run. Actually,
Yep.
That was
That
it.
is every mini boss, every boss.
And yeah, one last death blow, the last Dev Builder run, and
Yep.
ish. Okay, so time is gonna stops. Sorry, as soon as you see Sekiro Shadows Die Twice on the black screen. So I just have to go back to Kuro here, select my ending, give him the item, skip the cutscenes, and that will be it. So be ready. Oh, please. And time. That's it.
Nice. Good job,
Alright.
LeCadd.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a really solid run.
That was a good run. Except Juzu 2 on Irada 2. That was a really good run.
That's
I feel.
one of the hardest strats in the run, so that's fair enough.
And this is the only full death I had, by the way, and that was an intentional one, I think.
And an intentional full death, so
yeah.
pretty good.
I just want to check the IGT. I don't have any idea what the RTA is, if I am like way behind underestimate or just underestimate or overestimate, I don't know, but...
Yeah, on the leaderboards we use in-game time to remove the loads.
So it's a 122.16. Okay, so this is far from my PB. My PB is just here. It's 117, but it's still a good run. 122 on console all bosses is really good. And,
yeah, that's really decent.
Yeah. What is my RTA, by the way? I don't have any idea.
134.17.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so more than 10 minutes underestimate.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. This is my my vengeance from yesterday, because I did run MGS2 yesterday. The run was horrible. I was overestimated. I'm glad that the hardest run of these two, which is Sekiro, went pretty well. I'm really happy of this run, to be honest. And yeah. That was Sekiro, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Murtag, thank you so much again for being here, man. Like, always a pleasure to do it with you.
No worries, it's really fun every time.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And yeah, looking forward for more things like that. So yeah, thanks for having us. I'm just gonna do like some quick shout outs here and there. Well, if you ever want to speedrun this game, learn this game, or just be part of a cool community, there's a Discord of Sekiro speedrunning. You will find the link on the speedrun.com page. Really cool community, like really helpful. If you struggle with like a strat, anything, this is definitely a good place to ask questions. So yeah. And the other one will be, I already did it, but like the other shout out is for you, Murtag. Yeah, of course.
No problem.
And yeah, that's all for me, I guess. So yeah, Murtag, if you have something to say, go ahead.
Yeah, shout outs to LeCadd for doing an amazing run. It's not a simple thing to just beat every single boss and mini boss while also commentating in one run while over 1,000 people are watching. So it's always really impressive to see. And also shout outs to us meeting the incentive for the Panda. Yes, now that run is the true speedrun.
Yeah. And yeah, thanks for having us so much. Yeah, that was really cool. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for running. Yeah. All right, coming up next, we have Onimusha Warlords. If you want to see that, stick around. Having said that, I'm going to be signing off for the rest of this marathon, leaving you in the capable hands of my good friend Zonorous. Take care, everybody!